The Zephyrian interrogation chamber hummed with malevolent energy as Commander Vexthul circled the restraint chair. The human prisoner sat motionless, his wrists and ankles bound by quantum shackles that could theoretically hold a rampaging Titan-class war beast. Blood trickled from a cut above his left eye, but Marcus Chen's gaze remained steady, almost bored. Fascinating, Vexthul chittered, his insectoid mandibles clicking with anticipation. The famous human stubbornness we've heard so much about. Tell me, prisoner, how long do you think you can maintain this defiance? Marcus flexed his shoulders against the restraints, testing their give. Well, considering I've been sitting here for what, 6 hours? And you've barely gotten started? I'd say we have all day. The Zephyrian's compound eyes glittered with cruel amusement. Oh, we have much more than a day. Time moves differently here, human. What feels like hours to you could be days, weeks. Our neural disruptors ensure that your primitive mind loses track of temporal flow. Temporal flow? Marcus chuckled, a sound that somehow made the chamber feel smaller. You know, back home we have a saying. Time flies when you're having fun. But another one goes, a watched pot never boils. Vexthul's antennae twitched in confusion. Your human idioms are irrelevant. We will extract the location of your fleet's staging ground. The resistance ends here. Does it? Marcus asked, his voice carrying an odd note of genuine curiosity. See, that's where you made your first mistake. You think this is about breaking me. The interrogator activated a neural probe, its crystalline tip humming with psionic energy. This device has broken the minds of 1,000 species across the galaxy. Corthons, Melody, even the legendary Stoic monks of Proxima fell before its power. As the probe descended toward Marcus's temple, something unexpected happened. Instead of flinching or pleading, the human began to speak in a conversational tone, as if discussing the weather. You know what's funny about humans? We're probably the only species in the galaxy that actually enjoys being contrary. Put us in an impossible situation. Tell us we can't do something, and suddenly that becomes exactly what we're going to do. The probe made contact. Vexthul's mandibles spread wide in anticipation as the device began its work, sending waves of agony directly into the human's neural pathways. But instead of screams, he heard something else entirely. Marcus was still talking. The thing is, Commander, you're trying to break something that's already been broken and rebuilt so many times. It's basically unbreakable at this point. Humans don't just endure suffering. We weaponize it. Vexthul increased the probe's intensity, confusion mounting as the human's vital signs remained remarkably stable. Impossible. No organic mind can resist the neural cascade at this level. See, that's your second mistake, Marcus continued, his voice steady despite the torture device, boring into his skull. You assume that pain is something to be avoided. But humans, we seek it out. We climb mountains that kill us, run until our hearts nearly explode, push our bodies and minds past every reasonable limit just to see what's on the other side. Interrogator stepped back, his confidence wavering. In 3 centuries of service, he had never encountered a subject who could maintain coherent speech under maximum neural disruption. Every human child learns about pain early, Marcus went on, his eyes now focused on something beyond the chamber walls. We fall down, we get back up. We get our hearts broken, we love again. Every failure, every loss, every moment of agony becomes part of our foundation. You're not breaking me, Commander. You're just adding to my collection. Vexthul deactivated the probe, his breathing ragged. This is unprecedented. And here's your third mistake, Marcus said, flexing his hands within the quantum shackles. Throughout their conversation, he had been systematically testing the restraint's response patterns, mapping their energy fluctuations against his biological rhythms. You built these shackles to hold creatures that think like you do, logically, predictably. But humans? We're chaos engines wrapped in meat. The shackles sparked. Vexthul's compound eyes widened as impossible stress fractures appeared in the quantum matrix. The beautiful thing about being human, Marcus continued, standing as the restraints fell away like discarded jewelry, is that we don't just break under pressure, we break everything else instead. Alarms began wailing throughout the detention facility as Marcus stepped toward the interrogator. But there was no malice in his approach, only a kind of terrible inevitability. You wanted to know about human stubbornness, Commander? It's not just about enduring. It's about refusing to let the universe tell us who we are. Every chain you put on us becomes a challenge. Every cage becomes a puzzle. Every impossibility becomes Tuesday. Vexthul backed against the chamber wall, his exoskeleton trembling. The guards, they'll stop you. Marcus paused at the chamber's control panel, his fingers dancing over the alien interface with surprising familiarity. You mean the guards who are about to discover that their prison security system has been compromised? The ones who are going to find every cell door in this facility mysteriously unlocked? Emergency lights bathed the corridor in crimson as hundreds of cells began cycling open throughout the detention center. The sounds of liberation echoed from every level. Not just human voices, but dozens of species that had suffered under Zephyrian rule. "See, Commander," Marcus said, turning back to face his former captor one last time. "You didn't capture a prisoner. You invited a revolution into your home. And the thing about humans leading revolutions?" The chamber door slid open, revealing a corridor full of freed prisoners from across the galaxy, all looking to the human who had somehow turned their darkest hour into hope. Marcus smiled, and for the first time since his capture, it reached his eyes. We never do it alone. As chaos engulfed the Zephyrian detention facility and freedom rang through its corridors, Commander Vexthul finally understood the crucial difference between breaking something and setting it free. The human prisoner hadn't been broken by their chains. He had simply been waiting for the right moment to break everyone else's.